Are the 3 days of darkness coming in 2025? Well, according to this video that we'll look at, it says that it is. It says why the 3 days of darkness is coming in 2025. One of the references that it brings up is the parallel between what happened in the Exodus story with the 3 days of darkness that happened in Egypt. This is the only account in the Bible that we have of a reference to 3 days of darkness. The 3 days of darkness prophecy is not referenced in the Bible. We'll look at exactly where it comes from after we watch a little bit of this video, but just to reference where it actually is mentioned in the Bible is in Exodus 10:21 through 29. The 3 days of darkness was part of the 10 plagues that God sent upon Israel to release the Israelites from slavery. During these 3 days, an impenetrable darkness covered the land of Egypt, and it was a darkness so dense that it could be felt. So again, the title of this video is Why the 3 Days of Darkness is Coming in 2025. Now, I don't know if these channels are actually run by Christians. Sad to say, one of the terrible things that we've seen increase in recent times is the AI Christian channels that are on YouTube. I mean, they're not just Christian, but what's terrible to see really is the AI Christian channels, because many of them are not even teaching the word of God or trying to teach the biblical truths. They're just finding anything that they believe will get clicks. And then like this video here, a 13-minute video that gives us no information of the origin of the 3 days of prophecy, the 3 days of darkness prophecy, no origin of the biblical prophecy, not a single reference to actually how the 3 days of darkness is coming in 2025, as the title suggests. But it just goes on, and it's just a video made to get clicks, which is sad to see. And we can also see it when we look on their channel and just type 3 for the 3 days of darkness and see how many times they've claimed this. Padre Pio received this message from Jesus Christ right before he died. Don't go outside on March 29th, 2025. That is a reference to the 3 days of darkness, and one that is not historically backed, which we'll look into in just a moment. And it continues to do this time and time again. And I've even seen, maybe not this channel, but channels like this come back out and then change the dates in their thumbnails and in their titles, so it doesn't look like they actually said that it was going to happen, because these channels say it's going to happen in 2024. Then on January 1st, they make new thumbnails and new titles for 2025. So let's listen to the only reference in this video where they start to actually get into the prophecy of the 3 days of darkness.
Many believe that this biblical account isn't just a historical event, but a prophecy that will repeat itself in the end times. Some saints and mystics throughout history have spoken of a coming period of darkness that will engulf the world. So let me ask you this: could we be on the brink of experiencing our own 3 days of darkness? It's a chilling thought, isn't it? But before we dismiss it, consider the parallels between our world today and the world of ancient Egypt. Are we not, in many ways, living in a time of spiritual darkness? Have we not, like the Egyptians, often put our trust in false gods, money, power, technology? Look around you.
The truth is, behind closed doors, the P word became my secret sin at age 10.
The world seems to be growing darker in many ways, morally, spiritually, and even literally, with increasing natural disasters and strange weather phenomena. From political unrest to environmental crises, from moral decay to spiritual apathy, many see these as signs that we're approaching a critical moment in history. But let's dig a little deeper. What specific signs might indicate that we're heading towards a time of darkness? Some point to the increasing frequency and intensity of natural disasters.
So as we see, not a single reference to actually 3 days of darkness. That was the only time where they tried to get close to it. And then again, they just drew the parallel between Egypt and the state of the world right now, and how Egypt obviously was living in very dark times, following false gods. God gave them so many chances to release the Israelites and turn from their ways, but time and time again, 10 plagues had to come upon them in order for them to be for the Israelites to be released. And then finally, well, they still chased after them anyway, and then they drowned in the Red Sea. So here is the actual information that we have on the 3 days of darkness, and this clears it up pretty well. This is from a Catholic website. It's actually from Catholic.com, but that's important because this is actually a Catholic prophecy. It's not, again, anywhere found in the Bible besides in the Exodus story. In the book of Revelation, as well as other references in like Second Thessalonians. There are prophecies about darkness coming upon the earth. The sun turned black, or and the moon turned to blood, or the sun turned black as sackcloth. But nowhere is there a reference of days of darkness, 3 days of darkness, or anything like this. So we'll read through a little bit of this to actually get the understanding of the origin of the 3 days of darkness. So in certain Catholic circles, prophetic circles, it's gone on and been spread around for a long time that there will be 3 days of darkness. One of the most famous quotations about this event is attributed to the Italian mystic Anna Maria Taggi, and she is said to have said this: there shall come over the whole earth an intense darkness lasting 3 days and 3 nights. Nothing can be seen, and the air will be laden with pestilence, which will claim many, but not only the enemies of religion. It will be impossible to use any man-made lighting during this time, except blessed candles. He who out of curiosity opens his window to look out, or leaves his home, will fall dead on the spot. During these 3 days, people should remain in their homes, pray the rosary, and beg God for mercy. All the enemies of the church, whether known or unknown, will perish over the whole earth during that universal darkness, with the exception of a few whom God will soon convert. The air shall be infected by demons who will appear under all sorts of hideous forms. Now, I believe that prophecy is a gift that God gives to people. It's a spiritual gift that some people can have. I've had people prophetically speak into my life, and they definitely came to fruition, and these people are often very reverent towards God. And I guess that's the best way to explain them. But it is a gift that the Bible tells us is real. So people can get prophetic insights to things. But I don't believe that there's any prophecies happening around the world given to people that are given on a worldwide level. The Bible has very specific prophecies about the end times, and we pretty much have a timeline of events that will take place. And this massive amount of an event, like this event would be so huge, 3 darknesses covering the entire earth. Everyone who's not following the church, so a Christian or a Catholic, will die, besides a few people who are praying in their house and God decides to save. That doesn't fit in anywhere with the prophetic timeline of what the Bible has to say. We're told about the great falling away. We're not told about anything in relation to 3 days of darkness in which you need specific candles in your house and that man-made lighting won't work. When it starts to get into prophecies that like affect the entire world on a level like that, I'm very suspicious of whether that's a real prophecy or not. I think God would probably reference something this big in the Bible. So this says another mystic, Maria Julie Jahini, is said to have claimed that only 100% wax candles will work. This has led to people selling pure beeswax candles to Catholic households to use during this event. So let's see, what should we make of the prediction? How credible is it? And what does the church have to say about it? So of course, according to Catholics, everything has to be verified by the Vatican or the Pope or something along these lines for it to even be considered to be real. So that's why they reference the church. It says here that the answer to the last question is easy. The church has said nothing about it. In a search of the Vatican website reveals no occurrences of the phrase 3 days of darkness. The 3 days of darkness is not a matter of church teaching. Can it be supported by the Bible? Websites advocating 3 days of darkness regularly appeal to the 9th plague of Exodus, in which God caused 3 days of darkness in Egypt. However, this is a reference to a historical event, not a prediction of a future one. An appeal is also made in Revelation 6:12 and 16:10 of the 6th seal and the 5th vial. These chapters in Revelation, most likely, according to them, pertain to events in early church history, not of our future. And although both passages invoke darkness, there is no mention of it lasting 3 days, similarly to 2 Thessalonians prophecy, and I believe also Matthew 24 or Luke 21 also references the sun turning dark. But this is right before the return of the Lord, the last trumpet. The sun turned to darkness, the moon turned to blood, and then the return of Jesus Christ. Consequently, the Bible does not contain a prediction of the 3 days of darkness. However, God could still reveal it through credible private revelations. It is here that we run into a problem. George Ryan, who passes no judgment on the 3 days of darkness, writes, "The origins of the prophecy are unclear, but it has been attributed to a number of saints and mystics throughout history. Some believe it comes from Saint Hildegard of Bingen, while others attribute it to Saint Patrick or Saint Teresa of Avila." So the prophecy really doesn't even have any understanding of the origin. Again, we have the references that we already looked to, but another one to point out is that many people often attribute this prophecy to Padre Pio, but this says here, this clarifies it. Some advocates of the 3 days of darkness have claimed that Saint Pio of, not sure how to say that, Petrolacina, Padre Pio predicted it. However, the quotation was given with no traceable source, and the Capuchin order that he belonged to has denied that he ever made such a prediction. This also appears to be a case of someone trying to lend the prediction credibility by associating it with a popular modern saint. So there's really no actual prophecy that relates to this whatsoever. There's a few of the saints, according to the Catholics and mystics in the past, that reference this. And here's another quote about in relation to Anna Maria Taggi, who is believed to be the first person who references this. "There's no question that Anna Maria Taggi saw in her mystic son several visions of clouds of darkness and other horrific disasters descending upon the earth during the times of punishment. This has been mentioned during her beatification process as seen above. However, the mention of a specific time frame of the 3 days of darkness for the foretold purge of the earth was first allegedly revealed by her spiritual director, Raphael Natali, who was not only her strongest supporter during her beatification process, but also gave ample testimony regarding her visions, for in obedience she had told him everything. Natali also revealed the following on August 1864, a year after her beatification process was open. It is very true that the venerable servant of God announced the scourge of the 3 days of darkness spread all over the earth. In these circumstances, the windows should be closed and leaning over them should be avoided, and it will be imperative to pray the Holy Rosary and to pray." So again, we really have no understanding of, the most important point is that this prophecy is not mentioned anywhere in the Bible. These massive worldwide prophecies, do we even have any other reference of a private interpretation or a private prophecy given to someone who has the gift of prophecy in history that actually was foretelling a worldwide event? A lot of prophets or people who claim to be prophets these days try to claim that they have some of these revelations now on things. But when you look from history, since the Bible was written up until now, has there ever been someone who was clearly a servant of God who gave a prophecy that related to a worldwide event, something literally on the scale of a Revelation, the book of Revelation prophecy, and it actually happened? We haven't seen that. And again, I don't know if even God would even do that in the time that we're in. We have the end times timeline prophetically told to us through multiple books in the Bible. When it comes to massive worldwide prophecies, to give it to another private interpretation for someone to just give now through writing or through a video or something like this, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what to make of that. I don't really think that that's something that that it just doesn't make sense in comparison to history and how the rest of the prophecies have been revealed to us. So that's the truth about the 3 days of prophecy, the origins of it. This is probably the last video I'll make on it because I just want to clear it up. But when I see these videos of people just saying it's coming in 2025, and then I read some of the comments and people are saying, I think it's going to happen, or this looks like it's going to happen. I was told it's happening, and so I'm getting ready. This is the truth. This is the biblical truth and just the historical truth of the 3 days of darkness.